Welcome back to Close Up on San Diego Business, where we get up close and personal with San Diego businesses and the key people that are working hard to make a difference in our community. I'm your host, Barry Waxler, here on KFSD AM 1450 and financialnewsandtalk.com. Okay, we're back. We're live, and we have with us Mr. Russ Murfey from Murphy Construction. Welcome, Russ.
Hi there. Thanks for having me.
Sure. So tell us a little bit about Murphy Construction. What do you do? And tell us a little bit more. Sure.
Murphy Construction's a high-end custom home builder out of La Jolla, although, of course, we'll build a home anywhere. We've traveled as far and wide as San Juan Capistrano, even done some work down in Tijuana for some orphanages down there. But, we were just talking to Al offline, and he said, Murphy Construction, you spell your name weird. Well, of course, it's instead of P-H-Y, it's F-E-Y, and so M-U-R-F-E-Y. But to make it easier on everyone, we used a big blue Pelican. It's much more visual than just the name. So
we have a P-H-Y right there.
So yeah. So, but we focus on quality, integrity, and transparency. In our business, it's all about trust, and so we make sure that all of our clients choose someone that they can believe in and work with, because it's very personal. When you get into someone's home and you're going through a massive remodel, it's a major financial decision. And Here we are in a financial talk show talking about it. And so, it's very important to come up with a budget early and to have a budget that's real. Brian was just talking about how there's oftentimes in our general construction business, there's low bidders and there's people who are trying to get the work, and that's not our style. How we operate is we come in and we'll provide you an accurate, transparent bid, tell you exactly what it's going to cost, because at the end of the day, we want to make sure our clients are happy, but they have a realistic picture going into it. Otherwise, it's it's going to be a lose-lose situation. They're unhappy.
Yeah, it's a stressful situation to go through a remodel, or even I think it's even more stressful maybe than doing a custom build, because oftentimes you're living there when the remodel's going on, and it's stressful enough to add then in the fact that you thought you were dealing with a reputable company, and now you find out they're shady because they didn't disclose everything in the bid, or they did allowances, and now that you know what I mean. So it's like.
Oh, you're absolutely right. It's unfortunately in construction, it's very difficult to pin down the exact cost. And so if anything, we are conservative and we'll provide a cost that's a little bit higher. Unfortunately, we lose out on jobs because of that. But at the end of the day, it's more important to pick the right person than the price, and pick someone that you trust and you can work with it, because it's a long relationship. You'll be with someone, your general contractor, for 6, 12 months, maybe more, a year and a half. We've worked on projects that are multi-year.
Well, people are really with you for years and years to come, because anything goes wrong, you're who they come back to.
Oh, absolutely. For us, it's repeat business. We're not trying to win one job. We're trying to win a lifetime of jobs, and we're only as good as our last project. And so it's our reputation is what we have to carry us forward. And so one client will refer us to another and keep going down the road. And so repeat business is important to us.
And this is a family business. It's you and your brother, correct?
Correct. Scott and I are business partners. Scott has a 20-year history in construction, and he's been doing construction management for the entire period of time, everything from digging ditches to here we are, the owners of the company. My background is on the financial aspect. I like to say in a former life, used to be a CPA and transitioned into real estate development.
Wow. Yeah, most of our guests say they're recovering CPA.
Al, I respect what you do.
Yeah.
Everyone.
You just don't want to do it.
Yeah, exactly. Unfortunately, I do know how to do it. My mother-in-law always calls and says, well, what about my taxes? I said, well, I don't do taxes. I never did taxes. I don't like taxes. That's why we go to Al.
Yeah.
But we've worked on a number of really unique projects as well. Everything from the beautiful beachfront Cape Cod custom home in La Jolla Shores, projects in Rancho Santa Fe, modern homes in Encinitas. But it's the creative projects that really get our juices flowing. We like to say, if you can dream it, we can build it. Just about anything. We have a project on a log cabin on an island in New York that we built.
Ooh,
really?
Fun.
Yeah, that was really cool. Everything had to come in via ferry, and so logistically it was a lot of work to coordinate everything.
That would have made a good episode for HDTV.
Oh, yeah.
To show how that process worked.
Exactly.
And, start to finish.
Talking about TV shows, we actually just built a treehouse for a client. It was part of a side project of the major project, but their kids, has a fire pole and a rope bridge and, beautiful. It actually was a small replica of the house itself. But that was a great project.
Do your clients accept tours?
Yeah,
of course.
Maybe a location show of close up on one of these. Yeah. Working with your brother, though, how did you guys decide? Okay, so you decided I don't want to do this CPA thing. So how did you guys come together and work together? Because I'm not sure my brother and I could stand working together all day.
We get that question a lot, and actually Scott and I are extremely compatible because we're so different. We have a different perspective on things. Of course, as the accounting background in me can't help but be detail oriented and, looking into the details, which you need oftentimes as well. But sometimes you need to step back and look at the whole picture. And, Scott has a great skill in being able to, look at the forest, not the trees. And,
right.
So we're able to counterbalance each other because sometimes you need a little bit of each. And we've never had a tiff or an issue. We've always been able to talk through it, and if anything, I think we are better off because we have each other.
Yeah, and you do more than just residential. You do some commercial projects too.
Oh, absolutely. On the Murphy construction side, we have commercial projects. Just finished a local restaurant as well as a UCSD medical clinic, but we also have a real estate development arm, which is actually more of my background and skill set. After my CPA route, I worked for a local real estate development company building high-end mixed-use downtown high-rise buildings. And so in 2011, I joined with Scott, and we started our first project, which was an old abandoned gas station in Pacific Beach. And we went through the process of entitling the project, getting the approvals through the city, and built
that
21.
Ain't easy.
Oh, man. In 3 years, we just opened the project, and we've been working on it for almost 3 years now. So.
Well, God bless you, because that brings jobs to San Diego and revenue, and that's wonderful.
Yeah, I'll tell you. People ask, I always like to ask how the economy's doing, and I'll tell you, it seems like in the construction industry, it's cruising right now. There's money flowing through the system, and there's money going to people's pocket that goes out into the general economy, and
right.
It seems to be healthy from our standpoint.
Yeah,
wonderful.
Yep. You're listening to Close Up on San Diego Business here on KFSD AM 1450 and financialnewsandtalk.com. I'm your host, Barry Waxler, here with my co-hosts Andrea Kay and Al Arias, and our guest is Russ Murphy with Murphy Construction. So
what's next for you guys?
You're on the agenda here?
Continue more and more and more on the development side, and maybe ease up on the residential. Are you still going to do both? I mean, what's the future?
It's all about balance for us, and it's making sure that we're diversified, and we have a number of different elements. The development business is inherently risky, so we're very tepid and choosy in the projects that we move forward on. We're currently under construction with a 9-unit townhome project in Point Loma, and we have a 36-unit project in Hillcrest.
Oh.
But I would say the balance is 50-50. And again, that's going back to Scott and I and how we operate. Scott operates the construction side, I operate the development side, but it's not a clear line. There's a lot of overlap and a lot of synergies, and it's been really a great partnership. So
yeah, because I would imagine you'd have to be very strategic in terms of which projects you're going to start and when, and because there is.
Oh, absolutely. Well, we have a great team. Our office, we have project managers, estimators, an accounting team. Full supervision staff and finish carpenters and a number of other people. So Scott and I, are obviously the ones leading the charge, but we couldn't do it without our team.
Yeah, well, one of the things I noticed on my notes before the meeting is, we've come through a ridiculously hard economy over the last few years. Yet during that time, you've tripled your volume. What did you do right? What do you attribute to that?
Honesty, transparency. It's all that matters. And I think it's our reputation. And, when we say something, we're going to do it. And that's what matters. So, I think on the real estate development side, it's also using the background of trying to find a diamond in the rough. You have to kiss a lot of frogs in that business. And, I like to say, for every 100 deals that you look at, there might be one that goes. And so we're on our third project. And so, there's countless hours of failed projects, or not failed projects we never pursued that, are a part of that. And you just have to keep nose to the grindstone. And, we were raised with, you got to do it the old-fashioned way. And the old-fashioned way means lots of hours and hard work.
Yeah. That's great. So
old school, keeping it old school. I love that. And you know what? It's paying off.
Yep.
That there's success in it. Now, why were you picked for being the San Diego? I can't remember exactly how it was worded, but the future civic leader of San Diego.
We've been very involved in the community, and that was a time when I was very involved in the Building Industry Association, the BIA. And we had started a program called YGen, which was the young generation of leaders, and brought together a collaborative group of people who are in the industry. And so really trying to spearhead some activism, with young people who are able to, grow within their careers and grow within San Diego. Scott and I, native San Diegans, Al and I were joking as well that there's not many of us left, but we love being from San Diego and love to see it grow.
Yeah, well, it seems like there's a common theme since we've been doing the show for about 6 months, Barry, that the businesses and the business leaders who still stay tied to the community, give back to the community in one way or another, end up being some of the most successful, people, right?
Yeah, we had, remember Carlton Lund, and
he
was always giving back to the community, helping to build Legoland and all that. So it's those that give back.
What goes around comes around.
Yep. That's right. So
lecture over.
So any hot projects you're working on now? Any projects you've done you want to tell the listeners about?
Sure. One really unique project we're working on right now is actually the Crystal Pier Hotel and the pier. We're building 2 of the cottages on the pier right now. So
yay, love that place.
Yeah, so that's a fun project. It has, again, its unique circumstances that you have to deal with, but that's our business. Hey,
you're right by a really great breakfast spot.
Oh, I love that place.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we live near there and walk down there with our 2 kids and my wife Maureen, and we got 3rd on the way. So
congrats.
Awesome.
Fantastic. Future developers.
Yeah.
Or CPAs.
Whatever they want to do.
Keep it in the family.
Of course.
It's got a lot going for a 35-year-old.
I know, right? I'm loving that.
Well, we're starting to run short on time, so tell our listeners how they can find Murphy Construction when they want to.
Yeah, of course. Again, Murphy Construction, replace the PH with an FE. So MURFEY Construction, all spelled out, .com. And you can also call us at 858-352-6864.
Awesome.
Great. Well, thanks for being with us. Any last thoughts you want to leave anybody?
Nothing. I just wanted to say thank you very much for having me here. This is great.
Great.
Thanks for coming in. Great show today we had.
Awesome show, and we had some
fun.
great sponsors today. Fresh Healthy Vending. We have a gift for you from Spark Health and Fresh Healthy Vending, and I believe Proteus has something in there. So we've had some great sponsors today.
Wonderful. Very good.
So
good show. Great guests today.
Yeah. So I guess we are ready to break. I want to thank everybody for listening. You're listening to Close Up on San Diego Business, where we get up close and personal with homegrown San Diego businesses and the people that are working hard to make a difference in our community. This is financialnewsandtalk.com. I'm your host, Barry Waxler. We'll be back next week with some new guests, and just want to leave you with one thought since we're a local show. Stay awesome, San Diego.